is going on, everybody? Jordan being a little scared today, a little shy. I understand. Pretty much got
Me?
butt handed.
Shy?
Yeah. Look, man, I
Scared?
understand. Like it wasn't. It's not easy to take the loss and to like have to worry about these things because when you take the loss, and I understand this, it weighs on you the next week. And so as we come into this and we get ready to hit this throwdown, I understand your apprehension to get into it. But that said, why don't you run it down for everybody that's watching about what is about to happen and why you keep losing?
Let me talk to you. You want to know what's about to happen? I'm about to come in, throw it down, and lay the smack down on Mr. Chris Fox. So each week, me and Mr. Chris over here, we go through 5 of the most important sports topics of the week. Right now, we're pretty hyper focused on the NFL season. And I just want to say, Chris, you swear like I don't know what it feels like to lose and how to come back from that. I'm a Cowboys fan. I've dedicated my whole life to losing. This is my time. This is our year. This is my show. It's time for the throwdown.
It is time for the throwdown. While you're here, as we're talking, as we're going through this thing, do us a little favor. Scroll over there, hit that little subscribe button so you don't miss the show. Hit the like button, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think as we go through this thing. We really appreciate that. We appreciate you guys being here and checking this out on Fantasy Sports Corporation, the best place to get your sports entertainment. You're going to want to subscribe because we just got way too much going on this channel, and you don't want to miss it, basically.
You don't want to miss anything. We got football, we got basketball, we got soccer, we got golf, we got wrestling, we got 2 blondes that are going to come in and rock the fantasy world. We got everything here on the Fantasy Sports Corporation YouTube channel. Bang that like and subscribe button. But I know you guys are here for me and you're here for Chris, but we know that everybody is really here for our majesty, the queen herself. And I believe she has arrived.
Your queen has arrived. Acknowledge me.
Nice. Again, I love it.
She gets 2 of them.
She gets 2. Hey, look, we're going to tell you guys how to get some free money over there at Underdog using code Throwdown later on. But stick around. So stick around for that. Until we get to that, I'm ready for question 1 if you're ready, my friend.
I was born ready, baby.
All right, Your Majesty, if you wouldn't mind, we'd love to hear about question 1.
Since an NFC East team hasn't won back-to-back titles since 03-04, who will knock out the Philadelphia Bulldogs, I mean Eagles, this year? I'd like to knock the both of you out, actually.
It's not very nice. I don't know. You want to take this one, or I can jump in?
I thought you would never ask. Listen, we already know who I'm gonna say, right? I can't say LeBron James, so if I can't say LeBron James, might as well say the Dallas Cowboys, the real America's team. For those that like Commissioner Cooper, listen, this has been the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles playing hot potato for years. There's a sprinkling of the Commanders in there, but listen, we all know the Commanders ain't winning nothing this year. It's the Cowboys and the Eagles up top. And here's what I'll tell you. Look, New York Giants were real good last year. They were Final Four in the NFC, just like Dallas and just like Philadelphia. However, that's fool's gold, people. That was a fluke. That was a lot of luck involved. I'm going to tell you right now, the Commanders last year were a better team than the New York Giants. And listen, I got some belief in my boy Brian Daboll, but that team ain't it. Daniel Jones ain't it. Saquon Barkley, he is it, but I don't think he's enough to get him over the hump. This is the Dallas Cowboys division to lose. Not only were they right in the thick of it last season, luckily, Philadelphia had the easiest schedule in football. Dallas's was pretty easy too, I'm not going to lie, but a little bit harder, right? Because we were coming off that first place schedule. Those roles are reversed this year. I think Dallas gets it done. And here's what I'm going to say is Dallas had a couple of really glaring weaknesses coming into this season. Wide receiver 2 position and defensive tackle. And that defensive tackle has been a hole for freaking years. I'm so tired of seeing people, mostly San Francisco, just run it right up the gut and run all over us. And we went and got a dog in Mozzie Smith to plug that whole big behemoth of a human being. I don't know how good he's going to be, but man, I think he's at least big enough. It's going to be hard to run around him. And then we went out and we got Brandon Cooks, man. And Brandon Cooks may not be the guy that he used to be, but I definitely think he will help Dak Prescott in the passing game. He's definitely an upgrade over Noah Brown. And then one other thing I want to say, do not sleep on the addition of Stephon Gilmore, who I think can slot right next to Trayvon Diggs. And now Diggs doesn't have to focus on covering that number 1 wide receiver on every team. He can kind of play back, sit back, and ball hawk a little bit, and that's when that kid's at his best. So I think Dallas and Philadelphia both make the playoffs, but Dallas gets the division.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head with them both making the playoffs. I definitely think that happens. Both teams are outstanding, and I'm not mad at you picking the Cowboys to win it because, as the Queen said, nobody in this division has won it back-to-back since 03-04. But the team to do that was the Philadelphia Eagles. They actually went on a nice run from like 01 to 04. They let someone else have it in 05, then they took it again in 06. So it has happened. It just hasn't happened in a long time. Regardless of who wins this, I agree both teams go to the playoffs. But let me tell you why I think Philly can actually still retain this title. Last year, points for, number 3. Points against, number 8. QB3 in the league with 22 touchdowns thrown, another 13 on the ground, only 6 interceptions. That's pretty
an anomaly.
That's pretty, yeah, absolutely. Wide receiver 6 and 9, 2 receivers in the top 10, 18 touchdowns between them, over 2,500 yards rushing as a team. Now, they lose Miles Sanders, but they made up for it. I don't think they're going to skip a beat there. Number 1 in sacks. Offense wins games, defense wins championships. Not the last time you're going to hear me say that. Number 1 in sacks, tied 4th in INTs, and all those stats I just ran down from you, all ahead of the Cowboys. Cowboys did not beat them in any of those stats. And I agree. The Cowboys did a fantastic job in the draft. They addressed the needs that they had, but still, they're not going to be number 1 in sacks. They're not going to tie for interceptions. The defense for the Philadelphia Bulldogs, Eagles, is still going to be outstanding. I'm not mad at the people who think Dallas could win this title. If Philly doesn't, I agree it's going to be Dallas, but Philly will retain the title in the East. Queenie, give me my point.
Point, Jordan.
Yeah, Queenie knows what's up. Hey, Chris, you ever heard that old question? Could the best college team beat the worst pro team? You ever heard that posed to you? We're about to find out with the Philadelphia Eagles, because this is the Georgia Bulldogs 2.0 with an old Alabama /OU quarterback. So, man, they just cannot quit drafting. Not only can they not quit drafting Bulldogs, they went and traded for one too with DeAndre Swift. Makes me sick. Hate those damn Eagles. Queenie, what's next?
Without Rodgers and all of his drama, the NFC North is up for grabs, just like your jobs. Which team will assume the vacancy?
Okay, the North. I mean, you're right. I mean, without Rodgers there, the title is up for grabs. Green Bay may get it back at some point. We'll find out if Green Bay actually drafted a 3rd Hall of Fame quarterback in a row, which would be pretty amazing, but we're not going to find out this year. They've got some growing to do. And so it really leaves it between Minnesota and Detroit. And I'm going to take Detroit. I know Detroit is like the hot team. Everybody's, second favorite team this year. Everybody loves Detroit. And I think probably they're a little overhyped, but we're just talking about the North right now. And in the North, only Cousins threw for more yards in the entire division than Jared Goff. That's because he had Justin Jefferson, and he still only threw for 120 more yards. Goff matched Cousins at 29 touchdowns, but it had half as many interceptions. Goff only had 7. All right. Detroit was 5th in the league for points for. St. Brown was wide receiver number 7. Yes, Green Bay still has the best running back in the game. Chicago has the best running game, period, with Fields. But let's face it, they all suck on defense. Every single one of them sucks on defense. And so someone's got to come out on the top. This is a question of who's going to suck less. Goff sucked less last year. I see him doing it again. With all the changes in the NFC North, Detroit really doesn't have a choice but to come out on top.
Okay, I got you. Now, we can't ignore that Jared Goff, year after year, 1 year he's solid, 1 year he sucks, 1 year he's solid, 1 year he sucks. Well, guess what? Last year he was pretty solid. So what does that mean he's going to do this year? It means he's going to suck. We already know Justin Fields isn't a good quarterback, right? He can run the ball, but he ain't going to hit nobody. He ain't going to hit DJ Moore. Chase Claypool, it might as well be out of the league at this point. Nobody's afraid of the Bears. That leaves the Minnesota Vikings, and I love them. I love the great white Dak, Kirk Cousins. I love Justin Jefferson. That might be my favorite player in the NFL, but I'm bringing in a special guest today because I believe personally the Green Bay Packers are still the favorites to win this division. The Green Bay Packers aren't going anywhere. And so I just want to bring in a head coach from the NFC North. Dan Campbell is joining us today. Mr. Campbell, do you think the Packers are going to win the NFC North? What do you say, Dan? Oh, look at that. He says yes. Mr. Dan Campbell himself. Look, he might bite off a couple of kneecaps along the way, but listen, Jordan Love was a first-round pick. Jordan Love's been sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love looked all right in his limited time last year. This is a team that wants to run the damn ball. They don't want to throw it a whole lot. I think this is a team that can absolutely go 4-2 in this division. Now, we want to talk about playoffs. I think there's one team out of this division that gets into the playoffs, but I think this team, this division could be the new NFC South and just have four really not great teams competing over, a sliver of a playoff spot. At the end of the day, Matt LaFleur has proven himself, even with Aaron Rodgers, right? He's navigated all the drama. They usually find themselves in the thick of it. Mr. Dan Campbell and them Lions knocked those Packers out of the playoffs last year. I think they're going to, be pretty fired up and pissed off about that. And you mentioned nobody having defense. I do think the best defense in this division is the Packers. Ultimately, that is what's going to dictate them getting to the playoffs again. I'm not here to tell you the Packers are a legitimate threat. I'm definitely not here to tell you Jordan Love is the next Hall of Fame quarterback. What I am here to tell you is that stinky, smelly, freaking Quaalude infested Aaron Rodgers took his ass up to New York. And so I don't have to hate the Packers anymore. So I'm all in. Let's go Jordan Love's Packers for the division.
Wow, what do you think of that, Queenie?
Point, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Look, I mentioned some free money earlier. Free money. Let's tell you how to get it, and then we will expand afterwards.
It's time to call those dogs.
Gingerbread!
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code THROWDOWN to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
She's such a good girl. We got to get some extra treats for her.
Look, I mean, she's telling you how to get free money. You go to Underdog. Any deposit you put in there up to $100, type in the word throwdown in that little keyword box, you're going to get it matched. So it's like a free $100. You put 100 in, you get a free $100 back.
Get 100 out.
You're welcome.
It down, baby. Don't forget to use that promo code throwdown though, because if you don't get that extra $100.
No, you just type in a word, you're not going to get it. So you type in throwdown, done. $300.
In fact, if you need to, if you are challenged at typing, just come to our YouTube channel and you can copy from our show name, Throwdown, and paste it. You don't even have to type it. It's that easy.
Highlight it, Control-C, boom, Control-V.
Control-V. But let's be real here. If you're going to Control-C, Control-V it, you could probably just type Throwdown. Just saying.
Probably. Good. Question 3, we're in a tie. Place to go first so far. Let's see what happens in question 3. Miss Queen, Your Majesty, let's hear.
Since all the other quarterbacks are coming off injury, do the Seahawks have the best chance to win the NFC West? Oh, and you guys suck.
Just to throw that in there. Thanks. That's actually a good point. Everybody, all the quarterbacks in the NFC West are coming off injury. You got Stafford. We don't know who the hell is quarterbacking in San Francisco right now because they're both coming off injury. And then the Cardinals, they won't even have their starting quarterback who they paid a ton of money to. Good job. Way to go, Arizona. So you got QB5 coming out of Seattle from last year. Seattle number 9 in points for. With the rookie addition, you got to think they have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the entire game. They make some changes at running back, but I still think they're pretty good there. So you look to the defense. Defense is kind of an issue, but they addressed that in the draft as well, at least in the secondary. And in today's NFL, the secondary is definitely an area you got to be strong in. So, look, I'm not going to say that Seattle is a lock to win this thing. So it's going to fall to San Francisco. San Francisco has the better defense, but the QB experiment is not looking great right now, and it's going to depend on that. Look for regression from Geno. Let's cover that right now. Geno had a great year. You can have a little bit of regression as they get used to things and stuff like that. But honestly, the Queen brings up a good point. With nobody being solid at quarterback right now, they definitely have the most solid quarterback room. They've got an offense to work with, and they help that defense out. I'm not putting Seattle in for the lock, but I will say it's theirs to lose. It's Seattle's to lose for sure.
Okay. So you're big believing in Geno then?
More than anybody else at this point, yes. In the West, yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you 52,082 reasons that it's not Geno Smith. And that's every single
more free money.
Every single passing yard that Matthew Stafford has ever thrown for. 52,000 of them to go along with 333 touchdowns. Let's not forget that the Los Angeles Rams came into last season as heavy favorites. Matthew Stafford couldn't get on track. He battled injuries all year. Cooper Kupp went down for an injury. Looked just like the same old Cooper Kupp of the past. Looked like he was about to break some more records last year. Listen, I get it. The Rams, they've taken some hits as well. Jalen Ramsey ain't there anymore. You know who is? Aaron Donald. And listen, San Francisco may have the best defense in the National Football League for that matter, right? They're up there with the best one, but let's not pretend that the Rams don't have a pretty solid defense as well. And the Rams actually have a quarterback. Now, will the 49ers make the playoffs? Of course they will. Will the 49ers beat the Cowboys in the playoffs? It's inevitable, right? However, this is the Rams division. I think there's a giant chip the size of Los Angeles on their shoulders. I think Sean McVay is one of the upper echelon coaches in the National Football League. I think he definitely has some revenge on his mind. I think with a healthy Matthew Stafford, this is the Rams division to lose. I do think San Francisco is the best team in the division. I think the Rams are set up to win the division this season.
I just don't know what you're going to get out of Stafford. And that's the thing. We don't know. We don't know. If we get the same Stafford, yeah, they definitely have a shot. But like you said it yourself, San Francisco's the best team as long as that quarterback works. Miss Queen.
Point, Chris.
Damn it.
I knew that one. I went first. I jumped you.
I knew I should not have said that San Francisco was the best team in the division. That did me in. I gave you that damn point. Kidding me? God.
I appreciate
Come on,
it.
Queen. I'm in a hole.
Riddled with inexperience and guys who probably won't have the job next year. Much like you morons. Can anyone in the sorry-ass NFC South actually finish with a winning record?
Someone
No. And
No?
by no, I mean New Orleans can, baby. Yes, sir. Listen, the NFC South is not the train wreck that it was last year. It's close, but it's not quite there. And here's why. The NFC South gets to play the AFC South this season, right? That's 3 wins for each of them. Across the board, right there. Easy does it, right? Nobody's afraid of Tennessee. Nobody is afraid of those sorry-ass Texans. And I can't even remember who the other team in that division is off the top of my head. They're so bad. Anyway, look, the Jaguars are good. We get it. Indianapolis ain't going anywhere. Tennessee's not going anywhere. Houston's not going anywhere. I remember. Thank you. Anyway, I kind of quietly really like what New Orleans has done this offseason. Obviously, New Orleans has a decent defense. They've got some playmakers on that defense. They went and added Derek Carr, and I know Derek Carr is not the sexiest name in the room by any means. I guarantee you San Francisco would love to have him, right? I guarantee you any of those 3 AFC South teams I named would love to have him. Derek Carr is all right. He's a solid quarterback. And listen, Rico Olave, he's coming for blood in year 2, man. That guy looked the part. He was that dude. He's absolutely going to eat with Derek Carr tossing him the rock. I had big concerns about Alvin Kamara. I had bigger concerns about Michael Thomas. Not expecting either of those guys to do anything, to be honest.
Just fine.
Only thing I expect Michael Thomas to do is miss 13 games and collect a paycheck. But to me, this is the worst division in football, hands down, bar none. And when you look in the toilet bowl, there's that one really shiny turd in the middle. That's the New Orleans Saints, and they're winning the division. And they will get at least 9 wins to have a winning record this season.
Way to go out on a limb there, but I mean, you're right. It is the only surefire answer out of this horrible division. Queen.
Point, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, that's Jordan's point. You're lucky you got to go first on that one, because I
Damn,
would have took New Orleans.
Didn't even try. My point was so.
No, look, I'm still going to make my case, but I mean, New Orleans is the only division or the only team in that horrible division. But I do have a hot take. I did this on the Effin Sports Show. I stand by it. I think Carolina is going to hit double-digit wins this year. I said it. You heard it here. Go over to that Effin Sports Show. Listen to every team's record. But along the way, the first episode, number 1, Carolina Panthers, they are going to have double-digit wins, and it's exactly for the reason that you already stated. They have 6 games versus the NFC South, which is a complete dumpster fire. They got 4 games against the AFC South, which the Jags are the only team in that entire division, period. They got 4 against the NFC North, which we already talked about. Nothing spectacular there. Horrible on defense. Don't sleep on the Panthers for the record. They're not going to be a great team. Don't get me wrong, but schedule matters, and their schedule is set up real great for them to walk out some wins. They bring in Miles Sanders, one of the top rushers last year. They got the first-round pick, rookie number 1. They got Frank Reich to kind of groom him along, and they got the schedule to pick up some wins, plus or minus 1 or 2 points. But if they finish where I think they're going to finish, double-digit wins for the Carolina Panthers. So the other answer besides New Orleans is Carolina. But you're absolutely right. The New Orleans Saints are going to easily be the top team in that division, and you deserve that point.
If the Carolina Panthers win 10 games, I'll come onto this show wearing nothing but Philadelphia Eagles attire. That's how confident that sorry-ass teammate winning 10 games.
Go buy your stuff, because the schedule is ridiculous.
It is really easy. They've got a cakewalk schedule.
They do.
Hey, real quick, I just want to recap. Queen, who won that point?
You got to hear it again.
Point, Jordan.
Him that
That's
stuff.
right.
Tell him
That's right.
That stuff. You already got the score. Give us the last question, Queen. Give me a break.
Exactly, like it wouldn't matter if you 2 idiots were even here or not. Does it even matter if the NFC sends a team to the Super Bowl and which loser will even make it?
Absolutely not. It doesn't matter who comes out of the NFC, and I know what you're going to say, so I'm just going to jump right on you because we all know what you're going to say. The NFC rep you think is going to be the Cowboys, and I understand they're going to be good this year, but they're not good enough to beat the team coming out of the West, whether it's Seattle or it's the 49ers or even your Rams, which is just a silly answer by your own admission. It's offense wins games. I told you to hear it again. Defense wins championships. And if Seattle wins that division, it's because their defense did better than San Francisco. If San Francisco's quarterback experiment works, then San Francisco will easily win the West, and they will easily win the entire NFC. They'll get a game with Dallas, but it's Dak Prescott. It's the Dallas Cowboys. They can't make it out of round 2, and they won't get out of it again. San Francisco is most likely going to be your rep from the NFC, and it's not going to matter because I don't care how good San Francisco is, and they're good. Ain't nobody beating Mahomes. San Francisco's quarterback ain't beating Mahomes. Geno ain't beating Mahomes. Friggin' Prescott ain't beating Mahomes. And I understand it's the entire team. Kansas City's got an entire team. They have to beat the entire team. It's not just Mahomes, but Mahomes is that guy. He is that player. He is somebody who can carry the entire team. When you say you got to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, it's because you got to beat Mahomes, and nobody in the NFC is strong enough to do it.
Travis Kelce approves of that post. Hey man, I know we're both wrestling fans. I'm having a brain fart here. What's the tag team with Biggie and Kofi? What are they called?
I have no idea.
It's a new day, sir. Yes, and it is a new day for my Dallas Cowboys, baby. Let's go DC4L. I am here on the scene to officially tell everybody this is our year, son. You want to talk about all of these great defenses, yada, yada, yada. That's all Dallas did this offseason was upgrade that already banging defense. We got Micah Parsons putting in that work, bulking up, wanting to be on that line more. We added Stephon Gilmore. We added Mozzie Smith, who is a mountain of a human being. We brought back Leighton Vander Sex to man the linebacking core. Listen. I'm not usually this hype on my Cowboys, right? I feel like I'm more of a realistic Cowboys fan and honestly kind of a self-deprecating and self-hating Cowboys fan. But
do they make realistic Cowboys fans? Is that a thing? It seems
like an oxymoron. Here it is, Chris. This is the most watered down the NFC has ever been that I can remember. The Packers aren't going anywhere, right? Drew Brees ain't walking through that door for the Saints. Matthew Stafford has a broken freaking back, right? Unless he's training with Kurt Angle, I don't think he's going to do anything. Me and you could start for the San Francisco 49ers at quarterback. It's going to come down to two teams up at the top, and they're both from the NFC beast. It's going to be the Dallas Cowboys, and it's going to be those sorry-ass Philadelphia Eagles NFC title game, going for a chance to lose to the winner of Mahomes and Burrow in the AFC. Now, hear me out. Listen, Dak Prescott career 27-7 against the NFC East. Let me repeat, 27-7. Now, while I agree with you, Dak is a choking hazard, right? You probably shouldn't let your 3-year-olds watch Dak because they'll just start choking all over the place. But there's one thing that dude does incredibly well, and it's he kicks the NFC's ass all over the place. 27-7. So as long as Dallas can get past that second round of the playoffs, which has been their Achilles heel, right? They're going to play Philadelphia for the title game. And I think the key is all on that rookie, Mozzie Smith, because San Francisco for the last 2 years has ran the ball right up the damn middle, all over us, and we've had no answer for it. None whatsoever. This year, we just might. And what gives me hope is this. If there's one thing Dak Prescott does well, it's he dominates the NFC East. If there's one thing the Dallas Cowboys organization does well, They don't miss on their first round picks. You go back for the last decade and a half, money after money after money pick in the first round, right? Every one of them have been good, contributed right away, and I think Mozzie Smith is the next in line. Listen, we're not going to talk about Taco Charlton. We all screw up every now and again. That's the anomaly, but everybody else has been super solid. Give me the Cowboys to win the division. They're going to get the first round bye. They're going to accidentally win the second round, and then they're going to beat those damn Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. How about them Cowboys?
How about that? How about that win, Queen?
Every week, the winner is just slightly less of an ass clown than the other guy. This week, that ass clown is Jordan.
What? No way! You gotta be kidding me right now.
Winner, Jordan.
God, it feels good to be back on top, just like it's going to feel good for the Dallas Cowboys to be back on top of the NFC.
How do you answer the Cowboys twice and win? This is.
Oh, well, I'm about to answer them a third time, but before I do, I need to bid you adieu. Thanks for coming in. I couldn't have been here without you, but for every great winner, there is Chris Fox.
Loser, dumb ass Chris.
Thank these. You call me dumbass. Black guy need a time.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Woo! That is right. It is time to acknowledge me and play my horn. There it is. Hell yeah. Back on top. And it feels so good. Listen, I had planned to come in here and talk about America's team, the real America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to pivot just slightly. Listen, y'all, we got a lot of exciting stuff going on here at Fantasy Sports Corporation, but the single thing I am most excited about is starting August 11th, yours truly, Chris Fox, and the rest of the Fantasy Sports Corporation crew are going to be taking over Canton, Ohio. We're going to be all up in the Hall of Fame, and we are going to be at the NFL Expo. We are here. And I said NFL, I meant Fantasy Football Expo. We are here. And not only that, we got one, we got two, we got three booths set up, 2 VIP. We got Chris, myself, we got Cooper, we got PSR, we got the whole gang coming out, and I'm going to get to cross off a bucket list item myself because I'm going to walk up to another VIP table. I'm going to hold out my hand and I'm going to grab a hand and shake it. And that hand is going to be the hand that years ago caught that damn ball and was robbed by the NFL and took away Tony Romo's one chance of winning a damn Super Bowl. This is our year. We are here. That's for Fantasy Sports Corporation and the Dallas Cowboys. Things are looking up in FSC land and then the Big D land. So if you haven't already, get on over to the Fantasy Football Expo. Sign up. Come meet us. Come shake hands. Judge Jordan will be in attendance. The Fantasy Jester, you can go get hammered with him, and we can all have mass with Fantasy Jesus, as well as all of our other people on this network. So we are here. We are going to continue to be here. We are building. This locomotive ain't slowing down anytime soon. Get your ass to the Expo. Come visit us in the Hall of Fame. And also, while you're there, stop by the Underdog Fantasy booth, and you might even give my homegirl Gingerbread a little treat. That's it for this week. Make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy. Use that code Throwdown for an extra $100. We'll be back next week where I whoop that ass all over the place again. I'm out. Chris is out. We're out. See you next week.